This past week, Jesus, I feel like the Lord did a little bit of stretching in your girl this week. Hey, welcome to Naked and Unashamed. My name is Elena, and I want to say thanks for stopping by this channel. Here at Naked and Unashamed, we believe in presenting transparent, Bible-based truth around topics such as identity, culture, and other issues that we're facing in our world and in the church today. Again, thanks for stopping by, and I just ask that if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing, and please share the video with anyone that you think may need to hear these words. Okie doke. Today, I wanted to just come on and share with you a quick story related to the series that I'm doing on walking in the Spirit. Hopefully, it can be an encouragement to anyone who may be struggling with walking in the Spirit and looking for, a real life example of what happens when we're at a crossroad between choosing our flesh and ultimately choosing our spirit. This past week, Jesus, I feel like the Lord did a little bit of stretching in your girl this week. Okay, so story time. One day this week, I woke up with my child and I was making oatmeal. When I got to the fridge, I realized that I did not have all of the ingredients that I needed. I ended up having to get some carnation milk out the cabinet, cut it with a little water like my grandma used to do, shake it up and make that thing work, okay? I get to the table and literally the oatmeal had turned into this tacky, pasty mess. So I make yet another pot of oatmeal and the same thing happens. Later, come to find out through a conversation with a friend, I actually should have added water first and then did the milk, but that's okay. I know that for now. The point is, as I'm throwing away this second batch of oatmeal, a thought crosses my mind. And this is where I essentially wanted to talk to you, right? Because the thought that crossed my mind was, I can't even make a simple bowl of oatmeal. I immediately felt this feeling of inadequacy. And then another thought follows. You messed up the curry chicken last week too. And it was like thought after thought. And all of them were assaulting any little bit of confidence that I had managed to boost up over the past few years with, dealing with feelings of like the high expectation that I've placed on myself and being, overly critical of myself around every little thing that I do. So that's ultimately where I found myself kind of going back to this place that I had really started to move away from. So what started off as feeling inadequate because I messed up the oatmeal, which was something so simple, right? Ended up turning into all of me being attached to this one bowl of oatmeal. It felt like entertaining that one thought allowed for all of the other ones to just make their way right on in. Like, oh, she's accepting that today? Cool, come on in, insecurity. Girl, overcritical spirit, you come right on here too. And by the grace of God, I was able to really pause and evaluate my situation and discern what was happening. And I'll be honest with you, right? I've had other situations come up this week where I did not do so well at this very thing that I'm describing. I know that feeling of being so heavy in the emotion of the moment that you completely throw everything that is true out the window. Because even as I record this video, I'm in that situation currently where I woke up this morning and I did not feel like it. Everything that was happening throughout the day just felt like it was going from bad to worse. And it's crazy because even as I'm telling the story, I'm like, wow, God, that's the okie doke right there. Because even though I knew this, I still have feelings that come up and I have to know how to navigate and deal with them rather than what I did this morning, which was make 101 excuses about why it's okay for me to be in my feelings. Now, don't get me wrong. Feelings are real, right? They can't always be trusted, but feelings are real. What I am not saying is your feelings are not real. What I am saying, however, is that our feelings should not dictate what we know to be true. Meaning, this morning when I woke up and I felt like garbage and I had a similar experience, but this time the attack that I felt this morning was a lot more subtle. The moment at the trash can when I was dumping the oatmeal was simple. By the grace of God, I was able to see so clearly, even though I felt the feelings, the inadequacy, I felt the insecurity coming up, But this morning, as I sat there struggling, I did not feel the same relief. I didn't walk away so cleanly. In fact, my bad mood continued for several hours, right? And my husband said something to me that was key. And he said, "Do you want me to cut the watermelon that we had bought?" He's like, "Or is it gonna be a part of this bad day?" You know, and he tried to make light of it. And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead and cut it, because at least that way it'll be one more disappointment in this terrible, crappy day. So at least if all the bad stuff happens today, I don't have to worry about having a bad, crappy watermelon tomorrow." He says to me, "Is it really a bad day?" And I was like, "Yeah, I go to the bagel place this morning. They made, y'all, okay. I went to the bagel place this morning, and this lady at the counter, it was a misunderstanding, so I don't fault her for it. But I said I wanted turkey, cheddar, and bacon. Meaning deli turkey, cheddar cheese, and bacon. And I'm driving away with my sandwich. I realized that she gave me turkey bacon with cheddar cheese. So I'm telling him, yeah, it was a bad morning. I had a bad sandwich, and I'm listing out like all of these things that happened. And he was like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Yeah, so cut the watermelon, because at least if it's bad, it'll be another bad thing in this bad day." And he goes, "Seriously, is it a bad day? Or is it only a bad day because things didn't go your way?" And in that moment, I had to pause, because I realized he's right. Today isn't a bad day. Stuff just didn't go the way that I wanted it to. And I had the ability to choose. Will I let my flesh run rampant and act like a crazy person all day long? Or am I going to choose to enjoy the day that we had? When this week started, and I feel like the type of quote unquote bad day got progressively worse as the week went on. And I'm even laughing now, because I'm like, wow, God, you were really trying to show me something, weren't you? Because it started out with making smoothies, and one thing happened, just one simple thing, or I think I like spilled blueberries or something, and I was like, oh, this is just gonna be a bad day, isn't it? And when I said it was gonna be a bad day, I felt bad, like within me felt bad. Like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I identified with this bad day, and all of a sudden my mood changed, and I believed that it was a bad day. And only one thing had happened. And as I sat down at the table, we're eating breakfast, there's worship music playing in the background. Literally sitting there listening to worship music, and even just being able to sing it and, you know, commune with God in my spirit in that moment shifted how I felt, because my attention was no longer focused on what I thought was a bad day, but it now became focused on God. And as I sat there praying and just asking God to just settle my heart and just to help me refocus, because I'm clearly tripping right now, my mood shifted as I worshiped. And it was crazy, just like that, right? Then the incident with the oatmeal happens, and still I have feelings. They're still there, but they didn't overtake me. But now today, as I wake up and I go through and I'm having feelings again, the attack is subtle, but it's still happening again. And this time I give in, and lo and behold, rather than doing what I learned this week, which was worship, pray, pause, relax yourself. Again, we still have feelings, but our feelings should not dictate how we live our lives. So when I'm thinking about all this, like, Jesus, you were literally trying to show me, Elena, I've been teaching you all week to prepare you for this moment so that your feelings do not overtake you. You was showing me how to walk in my spirit, how to not choose my flesh. And yet today I failed, y'all. I didn't choose the spirit. I was all up in my flesh. You know what I be like. You look at somebody and be like, did you forget that you know who Jesus is? Even as I share this with you, I'm thankful, because the truth is, this right here is not perfection, okay? My heart is in a place where I'm like, okay, God, I know how to pray, because I get hit in the same spot all the time when it comes to insecurities, feeling inadequate, being overly critical of myself, and having these crazy high expectations that I set. And every single thing that came my way, whether it being God testing me, the enemy messing with me, who knows, the point is I had the opportunity to exercise what I learned, and I didn't. But yet I can see where I fell short, and now it becomes, okay, God, help me. Help me recognize those moments just like you did when I was dumping that oatmeal in the trash. Even when I fall short, like now, help me to see that and repent, because it's not going to be perfect. I don't expect it to be. But what I do hope for is that I don't keep doing it like this over and over and over again, right? I hope to be able to grow, to mature, to progress. So that way, these little things, that it doesn't overtake me the way that it did this morning. Please share this with anyone that you think might need to hear this. And until next time, make disciples, baptize folk, and teach people what Jesus taught you. Okay?